Hi guys, once again, Grace Boji from Boji Farms. Are you new to our channel? It is high time you subscribed. Please give us a subscribe. And also, click on that notification bell to alert you when our video is loading. At the same time, leave us a comment. We value your feedback always. What do you want us to give you? We shall always give it to you the way you want it. Give us that feedback. Give us a comment, okay? Guys, some of you know us for goat farming and you are not aware that we had ventured into other projects. We have quite a number of projects, but we go slowly, slow by slow. We don't just dive in. We first do quite a number of research. And from goats, we went into matoke. We have around 20 acres of matoke. And then from matoke, we went to sheep farming. And now we are on our last project. That is coffee farming. Today, I want to interest you in coffee farming. Some of you are farming goats. And you're like, what next? Which project should I add on? Coffee farming is that one key project. You should. There is quite a number of information on the internet about coffee farming. Utilize it. I, for one, am also learning on the job, but I'm a very good learner. I learn, I implement, sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I undo the mistakes. And today our topic of discussion is going to be, after you have planted your coffee, how do you deal with the dry season? How do you deal with the dry season? You can see the coffee around me is looking fine. It's looking so beautiful. It is all green. It is glowing. We have just come out of the rainy season. But to most farms, if you are to visit their coffee farms after 2 months of this blazing sun, you find all the coffee has lost its glow. Who wouldn't want a glowing plant? Remember, a glowing plant, that is your amount of productivity in that garden. First things first, what are some of the key things you should consider for you to protect your coffee from the blazing sun? Prior to the rains ending, ensure you have made a clear plan on how you are going to stop or to prevent or to reduce the sun that is going to affect your coffee. Remember, in Uganda, our dry season is going to start. It has started from June up to August. We are going to be having blazing sun, real hot. So some of the mechanisms we tried here on our farm, one of them was to ensure that we reduce on the weeds. We reduce on the weeds. Some of the weeds, we sprayed them. Others, where we could afford, we brought in people, we brought in labor to weed, to dig, to do manually using a hoe to dig. And then somewhere else, we slashed all the grass to carpet level. After it has been slashed and it has grown back to like 1 inch or 2, we bring in some little herbicide and then we spray all the weeds to ground. Are we together, guys? Number 2, after you have controlled the weeds, the next item on your menu should be mulching to suppress the weeds and also to keep the moisture in. This I did it with my young son, reason being he was learning, he was doing his practicals, he's in primary, and he was really enjoying it. That what was so interesting about it, that what he learned in class, the theory bit, he was putting it into practice at the farm. What do we use as mulching, as mulch? For a farmer out there, you do not have enough mulch. What can you use to mulch your garden? Number 1, there is super napier grass. We have most of it planted on the boundaries of our gardens. This super napier, when you plant it, ensure that you can only harvest it. If you are not feeding it to your animals, it can make a very good mulch. I'm going to show you areas where we have used it to mulch and you'll be amazed. For those of you who don't know what super napier is, in Uganda it's called a visagazi. The visagazi we feed to our animals, that is what we are going to use to mulch. How do you ensure that you use super napier well and does not reproduce or regrow in your garden? Ensure that when it reaches at least 1.5 meters or to 2 meters, harvest it, let it wilt for like a day or 2, and then transport it to your garden and mulch. And also we have also used star grass. Star grass, this is kalanda lugo. Some of you in farms where there are quite a number of animals, most of us have that kalanda lugo. I've been to farms like in Kazo, Rushere. You find the kalanda lugo is as high as 1 meter and it is all falling down. And then you enter into their plantations, they have no mulch, and they ask, where do you get from mulch? This star grass can be slashed or cut and then planted in your gardens. Not only that, we have several compounds on our farm with lots and lots of paspalam, and most of it we have mowed most of the grasses, and after they have dried for a day or two, we have brought them in our gardens to be mulched. This mulch is very key. It keeps the moisture in. At the same time, it lowers our cost for weeding during the dry season. And remember, the good thing about the coffee where you have mulched, that instead of irrigating 2 times a week, we are only going to irrigate only once a week. Who wouldn't want that, farmers? That is one cheaper way of leaving your coffee glowing through the dry season. Number 2 we have used on our farm is irrigation. With irrigation, we are using sprinkler irrigation, but the type of irrigation will only matter on a number of things you are going to use on your farm. For a farmer watching me, you would want to install an irrigation equipment. There are costs involved, and these costs, they vary accordingly to some of these things. Number 1, according to the topography, the area where you are, the soil makeup, the availability of capital, what kind of equipments are you going to use, what kind of crops are you going to irrigate, because certain types of irrigation, certain types may not work in a certain type of crops. And I, for one, we decided to go for the sprinkler method where we lay the pumps in the ground. And I'm so grateful to World Bank and Rakai District Local Government that they funded at least 2.5 acres of my part of this project, and they funded a bit of it, and then I was able to extend the other irrigation pipes to cover the whole garden. But at least the initial start was covered by World Bank in conjunction with Rakai District Government. And for farmers watching me, please visit your local governments. These irrigation equipments are there for you. As long as you fit in the type of criteria they want you to use, you can always go and access these irrigation equipments. So prior to installing these irrigation equipments, also remember, guys, there is no one cost fits all. One may tell you I installed my 1 acre for only 500 Ugandan shillings. Another may tell you I used 7.5, but these costs vary depending on the type of equipment, where you have bought it from, the kind of labor you are using to install it. Because for me, when I was installing the groundwork, the pipe work, I used labor from around, and I, for one, I employ them for hour worked. I employ them from morning up to midday, and I also ensure that laying that groundwork, I ensure that I'm always available so that I'm not cheated on the amount of work they are going to give me per hour. Guys, that's all I had for you. At least you see I'm not bluffing. You can see my coffee. It is glowing. I've started mulching. The whole of June I'm going to do mulching. We have already started irrigating. I want to test that money on coffee. They tell us once you start growing coffee, there are certain things you no longer do. I, for one, I no longer drive at night. When I'm coming from Kampala, like I'm coming to Raka, it is 250 kilometers from Kampala to here, and it's clocking 7 p.m. and it's getting night. I just get a hotel and I sleep. I don't want to miss the money from this coffee. Are you anxious? Are you waiting for the money just like me? What is stopping you from growing this coffee? I'm Boji Grace from Boji Farms. Please remember to subscribe on our channel and also leave us a comment. Your comment is so valuable to us. And also do not forget to click on that notification bell. Remember, what we are giving you is on the farm. We are on our farm. We are not on anybody else's farm. These are things we are already practicing because we have you at heart. We are sharing them the way we see them. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.